Hey everyone. Every piece that I finish, I am going to do the time lapse replay and review it. So we are going to review kind of how this went. So here, I was putting in my notes. I was taking in everything from the text and writing it down using those references. It's kind of nice looking back at this because I was recording this entire process, and you guys got to see. I mean, I don't know how many of you watch every single video, but I uploaded this entire thing. So yeah, I was just writing down some notes just so I had a good idea of the characters. I could have just like looked back at the text notes, but sometimes when you write things down, it's like a study strategy. If you write things down, you remember a bit better. So here's a sketch phase, and immediately I noticed something I noticed a while ago is that there's a lot of undoing, and it's one of the main issues that I want to address in my art process. Is I would be a lot more efficient if I had that line confidence, if I had that pre-visualization. I wouldn't have to undo so much, and you can see how many times I do it. My process would be many times faster. Like that spear I drew maybe 30 times for the initial line to get it going in the right direction, and that's fine. I know, sometimes you want to iterate on it, but if I had like figured out this pose from the get-go, imagine if I was able to do it like in the first try for each stroke. This sketch on the left, maybe what took me 20-30 minutes or maybe even an hour, I could have done in maybe 5 minutes. So there's a big opportunity for time efficiency when I'm watching myself do these strokes. It's not something obviously I can do right away, do instantly, but because I would need a lot of practice, which I don't have a lot of time for. But I can do just a mental prep, like if pre-visualization is the goal, then I can really concentrate on that more as I'm drawing. So this is my second pass for the sketch, just kind of like setting everything in place. I think 3 passes for me has been the magic number. Anything more than that might be a little bit excessive. Like I may do 4 passes sometimes if something's really intricate or something has to be really detailed. But usually this first sketch is just establishing things, putting them in the right place. The second pass is, really solidifying the forms and putting everything in the right spot. Oh, shoot. Did I forget the quiver of arrows? Wow. That is a big mistake. In the final version, I forgot the quiver of arrows. Now, I gotta tell the commissioner. That's a good catch. I'm gonna see if it'll be necessary, because I could add it in. Well, okay, so anyway, we'll just keep talking about it's bothering me now, like that I forgot the quiver of arrows in the final version. Now, the guy on the left, a lot of people really liked my posing because I posted this in a few Discord channels, and they were like, "Hey, good pose," and I was like, "Huh." And the guy on the left, I guess I was able to get a pretty good balance, and then the way he positioned his hands, it kind of became like this pretty elegant pose. Okay, so this is where I was, kind of first using and developing my inking brush. My inking brush is still not perfect. I want to get rid of the angle detection. Okay, you can see here, I undo so much. You can see the blinking lines trying to find their positions. It's almost like neural. I've seen a video of neurons and how they're kind of searching for the right way to go. But if instead of searching actively with my hand, if I can do it first with my mind. Another thing too is that the Apple Pencil and the iPad is so smooth in the way the pencil like goes over the surface. I know that in my family there's another iPad Pro with the paper-like material, like a paper-like film that we installed on it to make it feel like a piece of paper. But I don't know if that would help my accuracy necessarily. But I think rather what I need to do is like maybe do some kind of practice, or next time I'm drawing, just really try to keep my movement smooth with the pencil on the iPad. because you can see here, if I had some pre-visualization and line confidence, this top half of the torso, which has taken so many undos, so many, it will be much faster. So that's the main thing I'm seeing. Because like the actual line art itself, I think is fine. I don't see any problems with it. I think like, you know, my anatomy was good enough for the piece. Like I don't think I need to make huge improvements there. You know, the way I draw folds in clothes is like, it's okay. I'm not really well studied in that either, but it works. The way I you know, draw the forms in the armor, like everything in the line art to me is like at a level where I feel satisfied with, I feel comfortable with. I don't need to make any crazy improvements in that regard. So the end result of what I'm getting to is okay, but it's the process of getting there that like you can just see. Yeah, I'm being very self-critical right now, but it's because there's just such a huge opportunity. And this is what I like about Procreate's time lapse, is that I can actually see this now. Because I'm sure I was doing the same thing in Krita, but Krita, I never used Krita's playback, even though they have it. But it doesn't store every single stroke like Procreate does. I think what Krita's does is it like takes a screenshot every so and so number of minutes. Okay. So it's not to say that I'm never gonna undo again. I'm sure some of these aren't actually necessary. But yeah. I think this is the part where I accidentally got rid of the top layer for Kuiomi, the guy on the left, his drawing. So I ended up doing a recording where I redrew it again. That's a funny mistake. Kind of a sad mistake, because this work right here was wasted. Because I think I end up like redoing this, or bringing back the old drawing anyway. I'm not sure when I switched the layer. Maybe I did it already. I'm not sure. But anyway, it looks like I'm halfway through the time lapse here. And I spent more time on the color, or sorry, I'm more time on the drawing than I did the color, which makes sense because drawing is my strength. Color is not my strength at all. It's something I kind of just haphazardly throw in, but it's something I'm interested in being better at. But it really is difficult. I mean, I would have to study the masters, you know, study my Caravaggio, study my Da Vinci. How did these guys use colors? Go back into my art history classes and the Rococo and the pastel colors and all that. So it's just very difficult. Whereas I studied a lot of anime and comic art as far as getting the lines right, so that's why I'm better at it. So this is when I'm going back and doing corrections and line weight and details. And unfortunately the arrow quiver is gone. Yeah, this is when I do his boot there. Getting the details in there. The individual laces, I draw them individually. It's like I'm lacing it myself with my hands. It's kind of cool to see that. Okay. There's the strap, buckle. It's interesting to see my thought process, the order of which I do things. Okay, so what's happening here? Is this the one? No, this is the one I was talking about, where I ended up drawing his line art again when I already did it, and this was completely unnecessary. This was lost work. So, not much to say about this besides I need to take care of my process. I guess as this is happening, I would love to let people know, like, doing this, reviewing things. Oh, see, I was changing the layers. Reviewing things is one of the most important things we can do, in not just as an artist, but in any skill. I think of Kobe Bryant. He's one of my big inspirations. He wrote the book Mamba Mentality, and I didn't read the book yet, but I heard in one of his interviews that one thing that he did was review the tapes. Like he would look at every single game for like I don't know if it was a whole season or something, but one specific coach was like, we want to look at all of it. And Kobe would like he hated it at first, but he was like, um, we let's do this. This gives me an advantage because I'm putting in this time studying that other people aren't doing. I need to be a student of the game. So here I'm like studying myself and the mistakes that I made to understand where are some very glaring and obvious things I can, large points of improvement that I can do. Now this part looks like it goes pretty fast, like just the blank color fills. This is something that I did really quickly in Krita, and I'm just kind of rediscovering that process in Procreate. Um, but it does go pretty quickly. So this is where I did the fuzzy iteration because I saw on the character description that there was a fuzzy part, and then I removed it because I asked the commissioner like, how does it look, and she said, we'll get rid of it. So the final iteration did not have that little tassel of the tunic go all the way down like that. Because thanks to the feedback process that I have, just every now and then I send a draft to the commissioner and let them know, how does this look, and they say, we can correct this and that, and then I did that a couple times in this piece. Yeah, honestly, I mean, I'm done, and she liked it, so I'm not sure if I need to go back and add the quiver of arrows to the belt. I mean, it would have looked good, but I was wondering why it looked kind of empty on the right. Because I'm like, I don't think I, made a mistake. But I did. Okay, so this was one version of the color where we had a lot of purple and white, and it was kind of busy. Yeah, the pants were white. So the design on the left with the color is really kind of off. And then I sent a draft to the commissioner, and she was like, okay, make these changes, try these changes. It's her character, I don't want to make those changes on my own. So we worked together on it. That's the fun part of being a freelancer, when you do people's original characters, because they can give you references and stuff, and they can tell you their vision of the character, but they give you the description, and then especially when they trust you with the creative liberty, it's like, hey, I want you to like draw my character. I want you to figure out how they look. Um, yeah, this is the part where she was like, hey, try tan. So I tried like a more tan color for all of it, and then I kind of repainted and uh, yeah, black pants. I think this was what the color ended up being on the left here. On the right, the cranium was too big. That was another point of feedback that I had with the commissioner. So I kind of fixed it, made the hair a bit longer, fixed the cranium. It ended up being a little bit different. Now I'm doing the shading on them. Yeah, so the painting process for these guys, I think, went pretty okay. I wasn't too worried about this one because I wasn't doing a background. In the next piece that I'm going to review, the one with the dragon girl, I had a lot of trouble with the background. I'm not really a background painter. But painting characters, I guess I can do fine. Just got to take the light source in mind and grab some general colors, and the line art kind of speaks for itself. And honestly, if I overpaint them, it might draw attention away from the line art. I think the way I paint, keeps the line art's visual appeal intact. Okay, it looks like we're almost done here. Just adding shading to various pieces, highlights. I think this is the part soon where I take into account, okay, there's a white background, and I want to make sure I use the white background as a light source and add the white highlights. Yeah, this is the part where I'm doing right here. It kind of integrates the characters into the whole piece, rather than just floating on a white background. You're using the white background to light them, and it starts to make more sense, as if a spotlight is on them. Kind of a trick that I learned. And that's the final step here. I think I add highlights to Rockwell on the right, and that's it. And I think this piece ended up really good. So I think my review out of this piece is like 9.5 out of 10 in the process. I spent a good amount of time considering how much I was getting paid, but it can still be way more efficient if I focused on pre-visualization, and avoiding the undo button. So that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you guys enjoyed that review. God bless. Bye bye.